Retatrutide, it is changing the game for fat loss, but it's not very commonly talked about by the mainstream as it's not yet being commonly prescribed. But in this video, we're going to be your irresponsible research chemical advisors and guinea pigs to educate you on the benefits of Retatrutide, or as we refer, Reta. In the end of the video, we're also going to explain our own experience with Retatrutide, as we have actually now been taking it for about 4 days. What is it? You've probably already heard of it. It's essentially Ozempic, but better, as Ozempic, tirzepatide, and other weight loss appetite suppressants only work on the GLP-1 receptor. Retatrutide works at the GLP-1 receptor, the GIP receptor, and the glucagon receptor. So Retatrutide, along with all of the other appetite suppressants, slow gastric emptying, which makes you feel fuller for longer. It increases insulin release, which stabilizes your blood sugar, and it signals satiety to the brain, which is the main effect, which simply makes you eat less, as you just don't want to eat more. But I believe the main benefits from Reta are actually the GIP effects, which enhances already the GLP-1 effects and improves insulin sensitivity, which has an array of benefits. Guys, we go way more in depth in the school about this. This is going to be an overview for guys that don't really have the brain capacity to go fully in depth. This is going to be really easy to understand, guys. And it works on obviously the glucagon receptor as well, which increases energy expenditure, which boosts metabolism. So even while resting, you're going to be burning more calories whilst also not eating as much as an effect from having that appetite effect, which works synergistically together to provide some really beneficial weight loss effects. It also promotes fat oxidization, which means it actually becomes more effective for burning fat for fuel rather than potentially burning muscle, which we do not want if we're trying to build that AAA aesthetic physique and hold on to muscle while cutting, which is a lot of the reason we've actually started taking this. Because a big problem with Ozempic and other GLP-1 agonists is, yes, people lose the weight because they're simply eating less. But especially the doses that are being prescribed in a medical sense, people simply aren't eating enough food in general and not getting in the nutrients in order to fuel the body, to keep muscle mass, and to not become malnourished. So simply, why would it actually work for you, and why is it working so well anecdotally for people that are using this recreationally? Well, obviously they feel less hungry, like we explained, and they're just eating less because you kind of have the appetite of like the natural ectomorphs. If you've ever had those mates where they don't get hungry, and even when they do, they eat like a little bit of their meal and they're like, man, I'm stuffed, I'm done. And you just can't relate. You could eat 6,000, 7,000 calories if you really put your mind to it, and bulks are a lot easier for you. And this is me personally. I could eat like a truck, man. I could eat all day. I wouldn't feel sick. I could just keep eating, man. Especially when you start working out, you realize how much your appetite increases. They also digest slower, right? So fewer cravings as well. Food stays in your stomach for longer, and their body literally burns more calories at rest, which is that glucagon effect that I was talking about. So on top of you not eating as much, you're burning more calories just while resting. Right, so this sounds fucking amazing, right? But like we explained, you always pay the price in this world. So what are some of the negatives? Because there are a boatload of positives. Before I get into it, I'm gonna say anecdotally, and from what I've heard, there aren't many. Honestly, yeah. It is an outsized positive return when it comes to Retatrutide that we know of so far. Yeah, this is just like a minority of people that report some of these symptoms. They aren't common symptoms. You can experience some nausea, vomiting, and abdominal discomfort. Some of this can be amplified simply by you just having a lack of calories in general. A lot of these symptoms will just be from the large calorie deficit that you're in rather than the drug itself. Yeah, also from my understanding, some people are just taking way higher of a dose because they're in that desperate need to lose weight. They're in that mentality of it's like a shortcut, and they overdose on this stuff. You don't actually need that much in your system to really reap the rewards. We are literally on 1 milligram a week, and all of the positive benefits that everyone are reporting, we are getting. And that's a very low dose, and it's not even being prescribed at that low of a dose, but I genuinely think the minimum required dose would only be 1 milligram a week. And like almost any other drug, titrations are usually mandatory when it comes to Retatrutide because your body simply gets used to having the drug in its system, and you will see less and less of an effect as time goes on from the same dose. So usually people will start at 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram a week, and they'll titrate up after a few weeks to 2 milligrams, 4 milligrams a week. It's like this with almost any drug, and it's why cigarette smokers end up smoking like packets a day, right? Another negative that a lot of people come to me with, and it's a lot of the holdback from actually starting Retatrutide, is that it's expensive. But I would argue you actually save the money by not eating the food. So with the common prices out there, and for us and the price that we got it at, it actually equals out to about $2 to $4 a day if you're getting it from a correct source. That's literally the meals you aren't eating. You're probably saving money
by not falling for the cravings and buying the food. Like inflation, shit's not cheap these days. That chocolate bar or that packet of chips you're buying by not being on Retatrutide is going to cost you more than $2 to $4. So I'd argue you're actually saving money, right?
Muscle loss could be a potential negative, but that's just the negative of being in a calorie deficit, because Retatrutide, like we explained, actually makes your body more efficient at using nutrients to hold onto muscle and using the fat for fuel. So if you are experiencing muscle loss, it's most likely because you're just not being smart about your calorie deficit and the nutrition that you're eating. You're probably under eating proteins and things of that nature.
Yeah, you need a proper cutting strategy at the backbone of using this stuff. If you're just jumping on this stuff without any nutritional knowledge or any knowledge on fitness in general, first of all, you need to join the Skool group, which is the first link in the description. But secondly, get that right first. Even do a cut without this so you can understand how the whole process works. We've got tons of videos on the channel now about cutting and how to cut without losing muscle mass, because this is the mistake we made when we first did it.
And I think the best benefits of Retatrutide come when you've built that foundation of nutritional knowledge and you're combining your willpower with a low dose of Retatrutide. This isn't to solely be relied upon, because you will fail. You'd only really need a little dose, a little bit of a boost, so that you don't need that willpower as much, and it reduces some of the food noise in your head, because you should already be able to be in a calorie deficit without the use of appetite suppressants. This just makes it easier and more seamless. And probably the biggest negative is that it's not largely studied, especially long term. There have been some human trials done, and they do show amazing benefits, of course, because it simply works, but it's just not like there's an array of extensive studies done long term.
Yeah, I mean, we could all just drop dead in like a couple decades. Who's to know? No one's to know. That's why we're being the human guinea pigs, and we're going to use it for you for the sake of sacrificing ourselves for you guys.
But at the end of the day, it is a peptide. Peptides are generally safe. We can't really promote them to you. We're not going to promote drugs on anyone, but from anecdotal experience, it is pretty safe. So what has our personal experience been in just 4 days, right? You'd think there wouldn't be any, but Retatrutide, although it has a long half-life, it stays in your system for well over 2 weeks. It has a half-life of about 7 to 10 days. You see the benefits almost instantly within the day that you take it, especially if you take it in the morning. And I noticed that on the day I took it. So I've been averaging about 1,600 calories a day, and my maintenance is about 3,000. So I'm at a 1,500 deficit. I'm doing an aggressive cut right now. I'm aiming to lose almost 2 kilos a week because I'm sick of fucking cutting. Yes, I can cut muscle without the assistance of Retatrutide, and I've done it before, and I've been on 2,000, 2,200, 2,500 calories, but it is so painful. All I'm thinking about is food. I'm constantly lethargic, and I really have to use a lot of willpower and discipline to stick to that. I've been able to stick to 1,600 calories really without being too hungry.
Yeah, it is insane, guys. Honestly, this is one of the most insane things I've ever tried, and it's truly remarkable. I've had 0 side effects. I've had 0 negatives so far. I've been able to focus on my work better, especially for guys who want to do things outside of just the gym and cutting and dieting and things like that. I think this is a lifesaver, guys. For me, someone who's really productive, having that food noise out of my brain, especially for guys who struggle with cravings and things like that, it's going to be extremely beneficial. I've had 0 food noise. I've walked straight past the lolly aisle like 5 times, not even a thought in my brain to grab anything. And I've actually had to force myself, especially on that first day when it's extremely potent, to actually get my protein in and stick to the diet without under eating.
And it is also to be said, I think one of the main benefits of Retatrutide as well is not only does it suppress your appetite for food in general, but I find I'm thinking about healthier food choices. Especially like Nelson mentioned, when we're walking through the shops and we're doing our food shopping, I'm looking at healthy options and I'm craving healthy foods more. And I'm sort of not really staring at the chocolates. I'm not staring at the processed food. I'm not stumbling over to the bakery aisle because I'm not really craving those foods so much. I almost have like the appetite of, I feel like some females kind of just don't have the appetite for those unhealthy foods, and they seem to just decline desserts and things of that nature. And I've never been able to fathom it, because I will literally consume 5,000 calories of desserts and baked goods without fail.
Yeah, I always say this, if I wasn't into fitness, I'm a true thoroughbred fat fuck. And some of you might be like, oh, well, Retatrutide is cheating, taking peptides is cheating. Shut the fuck up. This is probably the wrong channel for you. If you're not familiar, this is a cope-free zone. The goal is to get shredded. The goal is to build the AAA physique. The goal is to look phenomenal. Who gives a fuck how you got there, boys?
Yeah, real shit. It's not a steroid. You can question whether or not you're natty if you take it. Personally, I don't really give a fuck, right? This just makes cutting easier, and it actually improves health markers. It's been shown to lower bad cholesterol and even improve liver enzymes.
So you behind this watching right now, you're probably debating whether you should use this. Maybe you're midway through a cut, or you want to start your cut and you want to figure out whether you are a applicable candidate. Well, who is it for, and should you actually use it? Well, in a medical sense right now, who they're using it for in phase 2 trials is the population of adults who are obese and overweight and have, related conditions around that. But this is who I would prescribe it for, right? I am not a doctor, I am not your medical advisor, and I do not promote drugs, but But if you literally can't help but fall for your cravings and you cannot control your elbow joints and your arms from picking up food, and this is me, I'll admit it as well, the cravings just get to you, man, especially on a cut. It's like you've been so long without that. Man, just take Retatrutide, bro. Just take Retatrutide, man. And if you are just a fat fuck, I'm talking above 20% body fat. Yes, above 20% body fat, Retamax. Just Retamax, send it, bro. Get lean shredded, I'm telling you, it'll be the best thing you ever do. We talk all the time about having the AAA physique and the real world benefits of being lean, being aesthetic. Just go on a short, aggressive cut. Get to that base and then you can worry about building muscle from there. But you need to be lean first. You need to experience life lean. I'm telling you, boys.
Yeah, and especially if you are overweight. Just being overweight is doing more damage to your body and is more unhealthy for you than potentially taking an experimental peptide.
So guys, that's a general overview of Reta, right? Obviously it goes way more in depth. You can look at the science behind it. You can look at the studies, and that's exactly what we do inside the Skool group. This is more for guys who just want a little bit of knowledge around it and a bit more clarity around it, right? If you're actually serious about making a transformation and you want the knowledge and you want to get a true understanding on fitness and dieting and everything amongst that category, just join the Skool group, right? It's cheaper than the Uber Eats meal that you would buy without Retamaxing. It is insane. It's truly a life's work, and guys inside there are making insane transformations all the time. I know we keep hammering you with it. It's for a reason, because I know it helps guys out. We've transformed over 300 lives now, guys. This is truly something amazing, and I am proud of all of you that are in there right now.
Before we cap off the video, no, I will not tell you of Retatrutide source. Stop messaging us on Instagram. That is illegal. However, I'm just going to say, gray area websites. That's all you need to know. Click that button up there to learn more about how to build the AAA physique. We'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.